Come on. Okay, we're live. Okay.
Lovely.
Hello, everybody. Tonight, me and Wen are diving into one of our most favourite horror topics, which is vampires and werewolves. And we're all both going to bring our likes of these two subjects. And I would personally always want to be a vampire. What about you, Ven?
Oh, that's a loaded question. It's gonna have to be vampire because, living forever,
Mm-hmm.
being, ridiculously gorgeous and suave and things for, forever. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go vampire, but the werewolf thing is definitely there's some days where I'm definitely feeling the werewolf.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I
Where
have
you
to
just want
admit.
to like rip something to shreds. That's definitely a werewolf.
Oh, absolutely. You just feel, ah, you,
Yeah, it personifies that inner
mm-hmm,
rage that we
mm-hmm.
all feel at times.
Yeah,
We get really frustrated,
yeah.
and I think that's what's so fascinating. One of the many reasons why werewolves are so fascinating. But yeah, it'd be vampire for me, I think.
I think one of the things that gets me the werewolf is the transformation. That looks so painful. I wouldn't want to do that.
It actually does, yeah.
Yeah, it really does. And I've always been such a vampire fan. I haven't seen too much about werewolves, but I
Mm,
suppose one of my favourites is at the moment is The Howling. I mean, back
yes.
from that, and Dog Soldiers.
Hmm.
I love Dog Soldiers, and when I was looking at The Howling, I couldn't, because I'd seen it so long ago. I wasn't aware just how good the transformation in that was.
Yeah.
And then I realised, I thought, hang on, this is almost as good, if not better, than American Werewolf in London. And when I looked into it, there were like people from one film group were involved in the American Werewolf and vice versa, and it was almost a competition between the two directors of it to actually make the better film. But I really liked it, and to see Patrick McNee in there was just quite,
Oh,
quite, quite. Oh, that's really odd.
the
So,
cast of The Howling is absolutely superb, and obviously
it
you have the
is,
wonderful Dee
yeah.
Wallace, legend now in the horror community. You have what was the other? Um, I can't think now. It was just in my head, but it'll come back to me in a minute.
Mhm.
Um, but there are some wonderful. Oh my God, I can't think of the name. I don't know. It'll come back to me in a minute. This is my life now, forgetting everything.
Oh yeah, I'm the same.
Oh, it's a nightmare. But the cast in that was wonderful. You had some, as you said, Patrick McNee. You had some other very classical actors in there, classic sort of, old time actors. But you also had some amazing new actors in there as well. And again, Dee
Hmm.
Wallace was amazing. But yeah, The
Yeah,
Howling for me is it edges out American Werewolf in London, but I don't really like to sort of say, one is better than the other. I just think
no, no,
I connected more with The Howling. I think I saw The Howling first as well because I believe they came out around the same, or if not the same
yes,
year, and so one kind of outshone the other a little bit,
yeah. Uh, um,
which was a shame. But both movies are excellent. But The Howling for me
yeah,
really
yeah.
affected me, really got to me in a very, horror lovers way. I just absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah, I think I like American Werewolf in like because it's got that almost. There's a lot of black humor in it,
Yeah.
whereas The Howling was to me a horror film, and that I
Yeah.
like. I do like both of them, but I found The Howling a horror film, and American Werewolf was like a black comedy. There was so many bits about it, especially with his friend turning up and telling him you've got to kill yourself, and
Yes.
and the rest of them, which And I went through it, and I thought, oh yeah, that is very dark humor. But yeah, I like that. But
It,
but I grew up. I don't know about you with the old black and white horror films like Lon Chaney Jr. as the
Mhm.
werewolf, the Wolf Man, and such. And I like those as well because they had that effect, but it wasn't too scary, but it was still played on your imagination. But
Oh,
so yeah,
absolutely. I grew up very much the same with all the classic black and white horror movies, The Wolfman, Bela
vampire.
Lugosi's Dracula. So
Hmm.
they all imprinted on us
Hmm.
from a very young age, and I think it's wonderful to know that we have such a huge body of work now to be able to appreciate. We've got all the classics, but we also have so many new adaptations and interpretations of things. It never stops, and I think that's great.
It's true. I mean, I love with me the vampires. I like as you said the romantic, the dashing, quite attractive vampire,
Mm.
like Interview with a Vampire type. And I also like that really scary type vampire, such as the Nosferatu type from the film Nosferatu, and especially the vampire from Stephen King's Salem's Lot, which at the
Yes.
time really scared me. That to me was because I've been used to so much like Christopher Lee, Bela Lugosi, and
Mm.
all of that Eastern European nobleman, and then you had this thing that just totally looks in. Although he looks vaguely human, he looks totally inhuman and so scary. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just just that. And then later on, I was watching things such as The Strain and 30 Days of Night, and you get that sort of horror thing. So when the vampires almost become almost animalistic rather than the dashing type of vampire. Is that,
Exactly.
yeah, I find that's to me is horror rather
Yeah.
than, yeah. So what, um, do you read a lot of vampire fiction or as well as films?
I don't actually, which is interesting. I did start reading some Brian Lumley books
Oh,
way back in the day, and I didn't continue with them, not because I wasn't enjoying them, but because something else probably caught my attention at the time, another another type of horror. I did get very heavily into reading Stephen King. But
hmm,
ironically enough, I've not read Salem's Lot because I saw the miniseries for TV. And I
hmm,
do sometimes struggle if I've seen a movie version of a book first, I
hmm.
would struggle a little bit going back to read the book, but I'd sort of leave that open ended. I wouldn't say that that's every single time, but most of the time, that's what would happen. So even though I did read almost everything Stephen King wrote very early on in his career, that was not one that I'd seen. So I was going in completely dark, which is another thing that made that so scary.
Yeah, it was. It's just, and I think to me, with Salem's Lot, it was a vampire in that era of time, which doesn't normally fit with the vampires. Most of it's like earlier, and it was like normal people in a normal little town, and it's well, that was quite scary. But I'd say Mr. Barlow was very scary. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, and the fact that he didn't speak. You
Mm.
know, like most of them spoke to you and said something or other. Mr. Barlow didn't. He just appeared and did what Mr. Barlow had to do. But
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Yeah, he was brilliant, and that's one of the reasons I love Salem's Lot so much because I'm a huge Nosferatu fan, and I love the sort of monstrous, non-human, inhuman predator. That
yeah,
to me, as you said, is horror. Um, but I love other types of vampires as well. I love them in all different genres and different
Hmm.
ways. But I think my favorite is that animalistic, monstrous side that is quite frightening.
Yeah, because I think they did towards some of the later films. They tried to glamorize them too much, so they were the
Yeah,
the type of monster that you felt sorry for, and they tried, but there was this, oh, we have to drink blood, but we'll try not to, and people were feeling sorry for them. But then you go back to the animalistic ones, which I really prefer because that's scary. So
yeah.
vampires, so it's just. I think I saw one of the Twilights and I thought, no, this isn't for me. But then I don't think it was made for me. So
Well, that's it. I think the beauty of it is there
mhm,
are are adaptations for every generation and every iteration of vampire and what you're looking for in it. And I think one of the great things about the vampire characters is that they do lend so well across so many different mediums. You've got the romantic vampire, you've got the monstrous one, you've got the one that sort of can do both. So you to jump out of the movie realm just very briefly, and also um, it's a really nice segue to just say that we were both chatting about this and how sad we were to hear of dear Anthony Head's passing as the wonderful Giles from Buffy the
mhm,
Vampire Slayer. And one of the things that I loved about the vamps in Buffy was that you had a bit of both. You obviously had Spike, you had Angel, who became Angelus, who was extremely monstrous. You had, Spike in his early iterations, but then you also had Spike as the sort of wounded poet, as he starts out in life before he's turned, and
mhm.
he retains this incredibly um, complex personality where he's romantic and he's scary and he's funny, and I think again, just sort of dipping into Buffy momentarily, it was I think that's one of the reasons it was so successful as well, because they gave us everything. They gave us scary monsters. They gave us romantic vampires. They gave us, all sorts of different types of things. And the master in Buffy, I don't know if you remember, was very Nosferatu like.
Yes, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That I
So that was
remember
another
that.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought, I wonder if Angel lives for a long time. Will he end up like that? Like that.
It does make
Yeah,
you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it does.
Is it a, yeah. Because we just watched the newest, I think, adaptation of Dracula. Oh, I think that's the one I watched on Prime, and it was very interesting how they approached it. But yeah, come
Is
back around.
this is that the TV series or film?
No, it was a film. It was a film
Oh, right.
very recently on Prime, and yeah, I'm always very open. Some
Mhm.
we all gravitate to different types of vampire and werewolf themes, but
Yeah,
I'm very open usually, as long as it hasn't strayed too far away, or if it just doesn't capture my
yeah.
imagination, that's
I
fine.
must admit, I do. If you say, I think there was that thing on Netflix, which was the one about it was a series, and it was set in a village, a remote
Mhm.
village, and their old priest goes away, and then he goes on a pilgrimage,
They're all priests. That's an interesting concept.
and he goes to the Holy Land, and but he never comes back, but he's very young,
Hmm.
um priest comes back, and then shortly after he comes back, people in the village start just dying, and then it all opens up into, you never know whether this thing was a vampire or whether it was an angel, and that's what I found very intriguing. I did like that. But yeah, what else did I see? I like the BBC adaptation. Did you like that of Dracula?
Yes, I did.
I thought
really
that
did. Some people didn't like it, but I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I watched that and I thought, am I going to like this? Because I wasn't impressed with what they did with War of the Worlds.
No, that was no.
Oh right, that thing on Netflix about the priest is called Midnight Mass.
Okay, I shall. Well, we don't get Netflix, but if it does,
but it might come out. There's, if you look at the trailer to it, it's very. The ending of it was quite dark, though. Yeah, that was good. I got into it, and I thought it was quite slow going. And then there was another one they did where a woman gets infected. She goes out with her son doing photography and ends up on an aeroplane going somewhere, and she starts to transform.
Ooh.
And then she takes on all the hijackers on this plane as a vampire form, and the sort of vampire she turns into is not the actually one you'd really want to. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Darren's just mentioned. Let me show that. He's 1977.
Oh, 1977. Have we watched that?
I'm vaguely aware. I think it was. I think I remember it, but I don't think I was allowed to watch it at the time. So,
oh, that's worth tracking down. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there are so many really good vampires, but as I say, the BBC one, which I really liked about that, was when they're Matthew Harper. Is it Matthew? Mr.
Harker.
When he's in the nunnery, and he's like telling the tale and such. And you don't, what happens to him, and you see the fly going up in his eye, and you think, oh dear. Yeah, I did like that. I like that portrayal quite a bit. And I think from vampires, I've been intrigued where vampires come from, and that sort of thing, where you find out from the legends, and the fact that vampire type creature is virtually known across the whole of the world. Not just Romania or over here. So you've got them in Greek, in China, Egypt, and all of these different places through history.
Yeah.
Such as Madame Baffery, and there was one in Belgium as well during the war, I think. So that was quite
fascinating.
I can imagine why people think of blood like that, is that blood is part of life, I suppose. So if you drink blood or you bathe in blood, it's
absolutely, it's very symbolic, isn't it?
Definitely. So if we talk about werewolf films, we've mentioned American Werewolf in London, and The Howling. What did you think of Dog Soldiers?
I love Dog Soldiers. That is absolutely one of my favorite horror movies anyway, but it's also one of my favorite werewolf movies. Definitely.
I really like that. There were some really good performances of Liam Cunningham and John Pertwee, as well as quite a few other people in there.
John's son, yeah.
And I must admit, I didn't suspect that girl was actually one of the werewolves. That to me came right out of the
blue. When you
blue.
see that for the first time, I think it's well done, because it is well crafted, so you don't really see that coming. What I liked about Dog Soldiers was the setting, because it's set in the Scottish wilderness, so that right away gets points for me, because I just love anything with that sort of a backdrop. The military vibe as well, definitely I like. So you have these soldiers who you think are going to be pretty tough
Hmm.
getting taken out. So it lends a lot more
Yeah.
frightening element to the werewolves as well. The the practical effects I thought were very good.
Hmm.
They were
Yeah.
quite good werewolves. They were quite imposing.
Yeah. I think you. I don't know. Every so often, I look at it and think it's a very aliens type theme there as well, with these
Mm,
soldiers. The soldiers going in thinking how hard they are, and all that
yeah,
camaraderie and kicking ass, as it were, and then virtually realize it doesn't matter how many guns you got, how well trained you are. These you're fighting against something that really is way beyond you, and you're
yeah.
totally outclassed. But there was some good bits, especially like the bit with, and that's I found out from that that super glue was used to repair wounds. I didn't know that.
Oh my
It's
god.
just when Sean Pertwee's character was cut right across the belly, and they were just like,
Oh gosh,
get some
yeah.
super glue and super glue. I thought, is that true? And I looked it up, and actually they did use it. So that makes,
I can see where that would just be, yeah, that would
yeah,
be good for battlefield
yeah,
wound
of it,
repair in a pinch. Yeah.
they, yeah, just cinch you together.
Mm.
Um, and then when I was doing it, we can't forget Underworld with the vampires and against what lichens, which I
Yep.
I like that quite a bit. Um, and I can't. What was his name? The guy who played was the guy who played Bilbo Baggins. Wasn't the
Oh,
Martin? Wasn't he in that? Or am I thinking of someone else? No, the guy who played Tony Blair in a couple of films, and he went on to play the lead lichen, and he sort of has a posh accent. He goes, "Don't do that. We're not a bunch of animals." Uh, yeah, that I like that, and I like the vampires in Underworld as well.
are you talking about Michael Sheen?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
yeah, yeah.
love Michael Sheen. And
It
the
was,
fact that he's in Underworld
mhm.
is, and then you also had the
Yeah.
other actor. Oh my God. I give up on trying to remember names. So it's just,
What the head of the vampires?
yes,
Bill
yes.
Nye. Was it Bill
Bill
Nye?
Nye. Thank you, Bill
Yeah,
Nye.
and he
Those
was.
two were perfectly cast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bill Nye is head of the vampire, and he's just the way he speaks and acts. It's
Mhm.
just so brilliant. And
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale was,
And yeah, she was amazing. She was such a great role model,
yeah, that scene,
heroine,
that that initial scene where she's standing in that arch on that tower, and then she just steps off and comes down, and it's just iconic. It
I
was just,
love the whole aesthetic of those films as well. It's
mm,
very
yeah,
um ap-
yeah, the
apocalyptic, very,
yeah,
what's the word?
dystopian.
Dystopian, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
And I love the darkness of them, but the
yeah,
fact that they so successfully pitted vampires against werewolves,
yeah.
even if it's a digital effect at the end of the day,
Oh, yeah,
it's still
yeah.
very good, and I have
Mhm.
a great deal of respect for those movies. I love them.
I mean, what I was being a costumer on that
Oh,
must be a probably hard job, but to see your work, see that work,
oh
it was just
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I think I liked the first one. I didn't mind the second one, but I thought they lost their way a bit.
They all seem
Partially,
to at some point. It's
yeah,
quite rare
badly,
to catch it.
yeah.
Yeah, where they get it right every single time. So, yeah, I'm not that is one series that I would go through. I haven't seen all of them by any stretch. Definitely the first and
Hmm.
second. I can't remember if I've seen the third. I think I have, but it was a while ago.
Hmm.
And but I do really enjoy those, so they're definitely on my list to sort of re-catch up with.
Yeah, I mean, I I like those, and did you ever see the Blade films?
That's what I was just gonna say, and it went out of my
Yeah,
head. I
yeah.
love the Blade films as well.
Oh, Wesley Snipes takes
Oh,
that role and makes it his own.
absolute legend.
Absolutely brilliant from the fight
And you had Chris
sequences.
Christopherson as well.
Yeah.
Who,
Oh, yeah. As Whistler.
speaking of legends, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The way he can, I can just see him now with one-legged walking along. I
Yeah.
thought that's brilliant. And I watched all of those films. And I can still watch them all. But apparently Wesley Snipes got a little bit off the rails towards the end of it, apparently. But the film to me
That's
actually
a
was still
shame,
brilliant.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I love them. And
yeah.
the irony is I've only seen, I think, the first 3
Mhm.
Blade movies. And the first 2 I absolutely love. But the third one I really enjoyed for a different reason. And that was
Mhm.
because it had some extremely funny moments,
Oh,
dark humor.
is that the one when they have a gang of them? Or am I thinking the second one?
Well, the third one starts where this gang of vampires
Oh,
go
right.
to they go to Egypt or somewhere or
Oh, yeah,
some
they're
place.
looking for the prime, aren't they, or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
they're so full of themselves and they're just so pompous that they have no clue.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
think that this prime is going to be, relieved to see them, and they get their asses kicked basically.
Oh,
But
God, yeah.
the the whole movie is so funny because of
Mhm.
Ryan Reynolds. He's
Oh,
he,
crikey. Yeah, I remember him
I mean,
now.
and then he obviously went on to do some other extremely iconic roles as well. But his role in Blade Trinity is one of my favorites of his
Mhm.
because I was I was absolutely crying laughing at bits, and yet there are some extremely powerful, dark,
Yeah.
upsetting moments in that as well. So I think they handled that perfectly. They had a really nice balance of funny bits and very black humor, dark humor, and then they had these extremely, there's moments of great pathos in there as well.
Mhm.
So obviously with the loss of Whistler and things like that. So it
Oh,
was hard.
yeah.
It was very hard watch in places, but it is to this day one of my favorite
Mm.
vampire movies, Blade
Yeah,
Trinity.
I've just looking, I've lost my space then. I what's the other vampires things I was Near Dark. Have you ever seen Near Dark? Now that was
I feel
a
like I might have.
it came out in the 80s and it had Bill Paxton in it. And it was a girl, it was a
Oh,
young
it's very possible I've
a
seen that.
teenage boy and his brother, and they go to a bar, um, and these really weird people turn up. Oh, Lance Henriksen is the leader of them, and they travel around America
Bishop.
in a
Yeah.
old camp in an old van, and they turn up, and you just see these boys in this bar, and both of them shouldn't be drinking, and then all hell breaks loose. They just grab hold of the
Oh my God.
waitress and just tuck her
Oh,
blood, and
Jeanette
blood's
Goldstein is
everywhere.
in it as well. I love
Yes,
that.
yes, yeah. It is a really, and the little boy is actually made a vampire in the Civil War, and
Uh,
that is quite dark, especially the ending of it. That's because
I'll have to
I
sort
just
of look for that. I can't remember if I've seen that or not because I've watched so many. Sometimes I forget.
yeah, it was one of those. I because at that time I was watching the Terminal. It was on VHS, and I just went to a video shop and I saw this thing, and my friend goes, "Well, try that. It's about vampires, and it don't look like it." But we took it back, and we're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Look, my friends go, "Look, there's Hudson and Vasquez and Bishop," and you think, "I wonder
Yeah.
if the same stable of films." I think it might have been, but there was some, that was good. And
I
then I
kind of
saw,
feel like I've seen it, but it,
hmm,
it could be that it's just so long ago that I've forgotten it. The
yeah,
other
yep.
we watched one recently. What finally was it? What was the one we watched? Oh, I'll think about that one in a minute.
Is it a modern one?
It was more of a modernish one, and it was like a Quentin Tarantino type movie. I can't think of the name of it. Hold on, I'll find it now.
Well, we're both as bad as one another.
Honestly, I'm just useless now with my memory. Oh, my husband's doing the Googling bit. Good. The one we just watched recently, the Quentin Tarantino. What is it called?
Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. I really
That was
love
awesome.
those. Oh yeah, I really do. I remember seeing that with my friend at the cinema, and my friend said, "What have we got into?" Because it starts off, and you've got George Clooney and his brother, and it's just, it isn't
It's a
just
ride. It is a whole ride, and so many actors that I absolutely love. And then had Juliette Lewis,
Yep,
who I absolutely love.
and I remember, you remember the guy with the gun in his groin, the little pistol that he had like a codpiece on, and
Kind of, yeah. It's been a while.
he was he was actually Tom Savini, who played him.
Oh,
was
yes.
He's
He
actually
was.
he's a special effects man as well.
I know exactly who he is. Yeah,
I
the
didn't know.
absolute
I didn't
legend.
know
thought that was
that.
the coolest thing. Yeah, I remember
Oh.
hearing about Tom Savini when back in the 80s, when I was really into 80s horror, and he was sort of like becoming this huge name in, horror special effects. And a friend of mine at the time was a huge Tom Savini fan, because he was also he was into like somebody that was into like Doctor Who and stuff that we used to see. That was Anthony. My friend Anthony used to do costuming and stuff like that, and he used to make his own costumes. And I remember he was into it. So it was Tom Savini was like a household name if you were into horror, especially in the 80s. We all knew who he was. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was so chuffed to see him in that. I was like, yes, punch the air moment.
Oh, definitely. He was just, and it's just, there was so much in that film. George Clooney was brilliant. And all the humor when they're describing how the vampires change, and Tom Savini's sort of like looking around because he knows he's been bitten, and he looks around, and then there's a teeth, and he puts his hand across his mouth. It's just, honestly,
it is, and it's very typically Tarantino-esque, and but it's got that very sort of dark humor about it, and that's what I love. That was a great movie. That was the one and only time we had actually seen that, so it's one that I would definitely own. Eventually. It's really good. And then in the 80s as well, we had the absolute classic, The Lost Boys.
Do you know what? I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
And the things from that film, as soon as I think about it, there's all those things like not eating rice, Michael. 20 million Chinese people can't be
how
wrong.
often do you think about that now when you eat rice? I know, especially like Chinese food that used to come in the cartons like that. Yeah.
And then at the end, when that bloke goes, "There's trouble about this place. There's too many goddamn vampires." And you think, what?
Well, you had some iconic, child actors in that. Many great actors in it.
Yeah, it's quite a sad story for both of them, isn't it? The young lad and Corey Feldman.
It breaks my heart every time I think about it. Yeah, and it's a shame because that movie is so iconic and so loved by so many of us, but yet it does have that horrible, sad tale behind, the younger actors in it, which is absolutely heartbreaking what they've been through. But what I liked about The Lost Boys as a movie was that it really tapped into the 80s, the 80s vibe and the 80s, the lifestyle that we had. It was, and it was youthful. It was about youth culture. It was about, vampirism as sort of temptation.
Yeah.
So, and sense of belonging, wanting to belong. So, the older brother Michael gets pulled into the gang
Yeah.
because he falls for Star, and he feels
Yeah.
that peer pressure because they pressure him then to become a part of them. And like the scene on the bridge is the iconic scene, where they
Oh,
push
yeah.
him
Yeah.
beyond, and he has to make that choice whether to join
Mhm.
out of fear of being rejected or not belonging to something, or
Yeah.
you know
And
step
and it
back.
and I think it came at the right period of time,
Yeah.
because of that, and the fact that they were teenagers, and that's mainly what young men. I mean, young men do want to. They don't want to be. They want their place in the hierarchy. They want to be.
Hmm.
They don't want to be feel left out. But it was, and the music, all the music
Oh,
in that, it was so
yeah.
iconic, and all of the theme music and the music that goes with the film, that was just so well done. It
Yeah.
was just a brilliant film.
It was. It
Just
was.
a, just think I found while I was looking up about American Werewolf and Wolfen was why the rivalry between the two films existed was that both
Hmm.
films released in the same year, only months apart. The makeup legend from American Werewolf in London actually worked on The Howling as well.
Hmm.
And when American Werewolf got the funding, John Landis demanded that the guy who went to The Howling had to go back, and he didn't want to. So Landis wasn't very happy.
Hmm.
But Baker eventually did leave The Howling midway through and handed it to a bloke called Rob Bottin.
Yeah.
And he had to pick up the pieces of both films, and it created quite a bit of tension. But later on, they loved each other's work, and they thought that rivalry got both films to be as good as they did. So you're
Yeah.
right, it was a bit,
Interesting.
yeah, and
Really
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, Wolfen is an interesting one because I can see The Howling, Wolfen, and American
yeah,
Werewolf in London all
yeah,
came out at the same time,
yeah.
roughly. And Wolfen at the time for me didn't. I think it got even more lost than The Howling did at the time when American
Hmm.
Werewolf, hit the scene. And Wolfen is such a different type of movie. It's set in like an urban environment, and it's more of a spiritual predator
Yeah.
than a physical werewolf.
Mhm.
So I think had that come out at a different time when it wasn't overshadowed
Mhm.
by films that were showing people these incredible werewolf practical transformations, had
Yeah.
Wolfen come out at a different time, it's more of a cerebral film. It's more,
Mhm.
it's like social commentary. The cinematography was extremely different for that. Like having I think you had like a thermal look, but like
Mhm.
you see in Predator, where they're seeing you're seeing through the Predator's eyes. So I feel like it got a really raw deal, Wolfen.
Yeah.
But at saying that, I did see it at some point. I can't remember what it would have been, absolute decades ago.
Mhm.
It didn't hit for me, as well, only because I do have an attachment to physical effects and the the
Mhm.
the beast element of the werewolf, and the human transformation element of the werewolf. So Wolfen, again, hats off to all of the creatives that worked on that. It was such an interesting, different take
Mhm.
on it. So I think it's deserves a lot more.
Yeah, I never saw The Wolf till a
Oh, it's
long
worth
time
watching.
afterwards. I read the book. My
Ah,
friend, and I remember the book because it was a bright purpley color with red on it. Oh, I like that. I was
oh,
drawn to
interesting.
the color. And my friend had it, and I think I found it quite disturbing. Not,
Hmm.
as you say, it had a lot of very dark bits in it. So, yeah, it took me a long time to see it. And I agree with you on the difference between the things.
Hmm.
But I mean, out of them, I did, but as I said before, I didn't remember the Howling being the transformations being as good as they were, and I thought, wow, that was good. And I can imagine back in the day, that was probably quite shocking to a lot of people, in the 80s period. But
Oh,
yeah,
tell me about it, because the funny thing was, oh yeah, Kolchak the Night Stalker, the original
Mm,
film was about a vampire. Yes,
mm,
spot on.
mhm.
Absolutely. Another absolute favorite. I could I could talk about that on a whole stream just on Kolchak.
Very
I
much
love
do that one day. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
What were we saying? Sorry, my ism is isming.
Ah,
What were we just
uh,
talking about? You're worse than me.
we're talking about the effects in the Howling being
Oh
quite.
yes. When The Howling came out, my dad was not as into seeing it, and my mom, but we all loved horror as a family. We used to love to watch horror movies, but my
Mhm.
mom went to see that with me, and it was a little bit awkward, as you can imagine. Being a
Yeah,
young teen and watching that with a parent was just like, oh,
yeah.
joke, can I crawl under my seat now? But
Yeah, no,
when I
I
went, so the thing that I left that movie theater with was the spectacularly scary werewolves, which never left me. And even when
mm,
American Werewolf in London came out, that was such a different film.
yeah,
No less
yeah,
spectacular special effects. That transformation scene with David is just,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just amazing. But The Howling for me, because I saw it first
Hmm.
before the other one, and because of the darkness in it, which I just absolutely connected with. And then years later, when I had a more of an understanding of all the themes running through it, and
Hmm.
watching it again and seeing and experiencing it, again, it is such a powerfully dark, visceral, unrelenting movie. And
Hmm.
I love it. It is my all-time favorite, not only werewolf movie, but I think practical effects movie. And that's next to The Thing, that's next to other things. So The Howling for me, the transformation scenes, especially the office scene, which is one of the scariest scenes where she's rifling, she's the reporter, and she gets access, and she sort of breaks into one of the offices or something, and she's up in the, like, rifling through the files, and the werewolf is in there, and he transforms in front of her, and honest to God, that scene has never left me. I love it.
Hmm. And we can't forget some of the comedy, what we do in the shadows.
Oh, I
As it,
saw the film, and then
yeah,
and then we watched the TV series, which was absolutely brilliant. And I think it went off of a free network that we were watching it on, so we didn't get to finish
yes,
watching
yeah,
it,
hmm,
unfortunately.
hmm,
But I will eventually finish it. But the movie,
uh-huh.
they actually have a Nosferatu-esque
That's
vampire
it.
in it,
Yeah,
which I love.
yeah,
Peter,
yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
we
I
still
thought it
joke
was,
we still
yeah.
joke about Peter, where it's like that's what's just like trying to wake me up in the morning. It's like, where he goes to the crypt and he's like, Peter, Peter, and then he like opens his
I
eyes.
think when I first felt, I said, and I just thought, what? But Nosferatu called Peter, and it's just
That
like,
is
yeah.
it's genius. It's absolutely genius. I love that film so much. And then
Hmm.
I was so thrilled that they did the series. The casting of the series was spot on. The
Yeah.
series is absolutely insane. It's brilliant.
Hmm. I mean, I just, someone actually said to me, "Are you going to watch it?" And I thought, um, oh yeah. And I watched it and I thought, I really like that. I actually watched the series before I found the film, and I really like this. just
Oh wow. Yeah, that must have been interesting to go back and see the film
Mhm.
after. But the film is good because it's still a standalone,
Yeah,
like you don't
yeah,
have, you can still enjoy the film, I think, if you watch
yeah,
the series first.
yeah. I thought, well, would I like this? Because some of the comedy, sometimes I don't like a lot, but I did, and I thought, especially the bit about Peter. And I'm sure there's a bit where they find a load of dust, and one of them goes, "Oh no, is that Peter?" I'm like, oh no, how did that happen?
It's so dark, I know. But that was another
Oh,
film and series that successfully melded the werewolf vampire combo.
yeah.
And the werewolves in, that they run into, like, in the
Hmm.
park
Yeah, yeah.
are hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Hmm.
Oh, it was
Oh,
so well done.
yeah. And because with that,
Um,
do you remember Being Human?
do you know what? I remember that when it was out, and I never got to watch it, which I'm
Oh,
gutted about because I that did look interesting to me.
I thought it was brilliant.
Cool.
Aiden, what's his name, as the vampire, and that I can't remember the guy's name, and that girl was a ghost, and it was a brilliant one. I think they tried
Mm,
to make an American version, but I don't think that worked. But
mm,
I think I watched it 3 or 4 series, and then they started getting rid of some cast, bringing up, and I just lost it. It wasn't as good, but the first couple of series was very good. It's just like vampires living together in like a flat
almost like a
share, and
dorm flat chair type thing.
it,
Yeah, which
yeah,
was
it's very good. And I thought, yeah, I'll get
cool.
that.
Cool.
Yeah, but
So
yes.
I'm just looking at some of the other things on my list. You mentioned 30 Days of Night earlier, and
Hmm.
I just wanted to go back to that momentarily. And
Hmm.
again, that comes down to, like, those vampires were properly scary. They were
Mm.
feral, animalistic,
Yeah.
and the whole setting as well had that sort of isolationist horror feel, being,
Mm.
stuck there. They couldn't get away. And they had to somehow try and survive while these things were stalking.
Yeah.
Actually, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. It was the fact there was no redemption of any of them. You knew that if one
Yeah,
came for you, that was it.
yeah.
And they were quite brutal to each other as well. There was,
Mm,
it was all, yeah, they were animals almost, where the fittest got to the top and people would challenge him.
yeah.
Um, and that's what it, and that's very similar to the strain, where you have
Oh, yeah.
where you have one master and he controls all of the rest of them, and it's almost like a disease, like a parasite, and it's quite, if you ever get to see it, it's quite disgusting. And
Mm,
they're not just, they're the sort of vampires you would never want to be. um
yeah.
it's and it's another one that's really scary, where they not just do they don't you have a group of elders that have been living in the world since way, way, way back. In fact, it's almost biblical. If I tell you this, what happens is the angels come down to earth, and one of them decides that he doesn't want to go back, and he kills another angel. Therefore, he's killed, and all his body parts are separated throughout the world,
Hmm.
and the body leaks and gets corrupted, and that's where the vampire comes from. And you have a group of 7 elders and one other, I think it's that, and that one wants to take over. All the rest of them only take a few humans, whereas the master, he wants to basically let rip. And that's what the whole story is. And it's how people survive in a world where the vampires are virtually taken over. And it's quite, you've got a lot of very good characters in there. you've got the old boy who played the caretaker in Harry Potter, Hogwarts, and he also played the first Doctor as well. I can't remember his name now.
Oh, you're talking about yes. He
played an old Jewish vampire hunter,
Okay.
Stratrakian, and
Yes.
he's been hunting them all his life, and it's a whole gang. But I like the story. The ending's
David something.
and it's a story where the ending's quite sad. I still think, but there's a lot of sacrifice going on. But yeah, they're another group of vampires which are scary. And I like the scary ones. I like the Dracula one, the romantic bits and pieces. But
yeah,
there's a time to be scared, and there's a time to live forever in an old castle with lots of velvet drapes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm there. I'm like, yeah, do it. I would absolutely love that. And I do have a hard time reconciling how immortality ends up as a curse, which it does, because
of course,
everything has its, but is ups and downs, it's positive and negatives. But the fact that they can stalk around in an old castle, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. Sign me up.
Living the hell out of each
I'm good.
And all the different. I think what gets me is when you go for all the different vampire films and things, how the vampire myth is changed and adapted. Because you have them where they can't go out in the light, and then it goes. They've got to be under direct sunlight. They can't supposedly cross running water. And they've got to go. They have to go to sleep in their own soil. And I think, they don't all follow that. I still don't get the bit why they can't cross flowing water. I don't know how that was explained, but
I'm afraid I don't either. It's a new one on me. David Bradley. Thank you. My husband's put it on.
That's
there,
it. Yeah.
Brilliant actor.
And the fact that you get some vampire films where you've just got to basically put a cross up and it works, whereas in Salem's Lot and a few others, just doing that's not going to help unless you have true faith.
Exactly.
That's a bit with the when the father goes to Mr. Barlow and he puts his cross up and the vampire just crushes it, and he said, and Straker says, you've got to have faith, because he was losing his faith. That's why they were just showing you him drinking all the time. I thought that was. Point. Have you seen the new Salem's Lot?
No. Have you?
Yeah, I have. I don't think it's any way as scary as the old one, but it's still worth a watch.
Okay.
It just isn't. But it's not. It is still worth a watch because it's a vampire thing and it's a different take on it. But again, where Mr. Barlow was a practical effect, I think the new vampire isn't so much practical, and I don't think that the guy who plays Straker hasn't got the
gravitas.
Hasn't got that malevolent feel to him that James Mason had.
Oh gosh, yeah.
James Mason. I mean, the guy who plays the Straker, he tries too hard, and it's a bit comedic. There's a lot of like looking at you in this. He looks a bit like a moustache twirling villain.
Okay. Yeah.
And have you seen Game of Thrones?
Unfortunately, we didn't catch that from the beginning, and then we just watched a bit of it, but just didn't get didn't jump on that train when it was
No,
going through. We will hopefully
yeah,
get
the
to
guy who
it.
the guy who plays Straker is the guy who plays one of the Greyjoys. And to be honest, he has a habit of overdoing things. So
Okay.
it's like whenever he plays a villain, it's all a bit. He always comes across like the archetypal Victorian villain, and it's just
A
a bit.
bit like and crossing the streams here, just briefly speaking of overacting, I can see an example, a huge example of that for us is Eric Roberts, and don't get me wrong, I do adore Eric Roberts, but he comes on the scene in the Doctor Who film,
Oh
and
yeah,
he goes a little bit OTT with the camp, you know, and it's sort of it's just a little bit overdone for the tone that was taking. I didn't mind it, but I would have preferred to see him a little bit more. He was more scary in the early part of the film, where he's you know, that stuff has sort
yeah,
of gone inside of his human body, and the master is sort of taking him over. He
yeah.
was much more frightening then, but he gets a little bit too camp for where things were going at that point in the movie. But yeah, getting back to what we were talking about. But yeah, that's my overacting example in my head.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I went to see that. I was at my friend's house because he's a massive Doctor Who fan. And at the end of it, I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Well, we haven't seen Doctor Who production for years and years and years, so anything is better than nothing." I said, "Oh, is that your?" He said, "But seriously," he said, "I didn't mind it." He said, "But the master was overdone a bit."
Yeah, I think the casting was a little bit off there.
Yeah,
and the choice of how he, how he was written and
yes,
and,
but it wasn't too bad. But
no.
So
It's definitely grown on me over the years.
So we got different vampires appearing in different series. What did you think about the vampires in Supernatural?
They were I thought they were very good. We binged the entire Supernatural series over a year and absolutely just devoured it. So because I've seen so many episodes in such a short, reasonably short space of time, they're kind of blending in my head. So I can't quite remember them off the top of my head, except for certain characters, like I think Vinny was one. But yeah, I thought anything they did in Supernatural, I was pretty happy with. I can't remember really anything.
Yeah, the first
stopping
time
me and saying,
I thought they had a great suit when they came across. Is this Estelle? One where the girl who played Tara in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay,
is actually a vampire, Amber Benson. Where they come across these vampires and they're actually not wanting to eat human flesh.
I know.
And I thought that was really, and that thing with Dean and Sam, where that Dean he just can't accept it. It's just, and you're trying to see it from, I can understand it. And Sam goes, "This doesn't." Dean goes, "Well, no, because they can't help it. They will." And then the end where she begs them because of, is it Lilith coming out that's turning them all bad, and she literally begs them to kill her because she can't. Yeah. That was so sad. And then you have that episode where Harmony from Buffy turns up. And he's turned into a vampire, and I'm like, "Oh no, you have got to be kidding!" And it's like, "Oh no, oh no." And I have to be honest, I really did like her. I know it was a bit silly in Buffy. That was so funny. With
Harmony was she was wonderful. There was some great. The thing with Buffy is that it did camp well.
Oh God, yeah,
It just did everything so, so well. There
yeah.
was there was pathos, there was campiness, there
Mm.
was uh romance, there was
Oh crikey.
brutality, there was sadness. It was just it hit every single thing
I
perfectly.
think that I think some of the things about Buffy that gets me is as Anthony Stewart Head in some of it, where they're all in his house. You remember that one? And he goes upstairs, and I think that Amber, and saying that they're lesbians, and he goes, "Oh my God!"
Giles was a wonderful character.
Yeah,
He had this wonderful professorial air about him, this
yeah,
very fatherly air about him,
he did. Yeah,
adult air about him, and yet he could be very naive because he was being thrust into this teenage world
yeah,
of younger people. So he was literally like a newbie. He was actually experiencing all these things, for the first time. So it was great because you got to see it through their eyes, but also through Giles' character.
yeah. And
So
he's definitely such a loss, and it was such a shock that
it
he passed.
was, it was. And
I
we finally
know.
saw something or read something that said it was something to do with complications of pneumonia,
Yeah.
which really shocked me. But it's just so sad. He
Mm,
was far too young. He was only 72.
yeah. It's
Um,
just.
so
I
absolute and
know.
such an amazing actor across all different
Yeah. Definitely.
genres
And he. Yeah. It's
and a
just.
lovely guy by all
Yeah.
accounts,
Yeah.
everybody said. And I did catch some of the wonderful tributes that the other actors from Buffy and Angel have put on.
Yeah.
So it was
Alice.
really poignant.
Alison Halligan was quite cut up about it, wasn't she? She
Oh, I
never
know.
forget. Yeah. Because they had such a great time,
They were youngsters. I mean,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were teens, so young or young adults. So they all, I'm sure imprinted on him
Yeah.
in ways that, were off screen as well. So yeah, and so I mean, we were just saying earlier we lost dear Michelle Trachtenberg at a
Yeah.
horrendously young age,
Yeah.
and then of course Xander more
Yeah.
recently, and
Hmm.
again far too young. So yeah, it's always heartbreaking, and I think for me especially, I watched Buffy every single episode as it went
Hmm.
out when it was
Yeah.
first shown, and there were so many things that life threw at me over the years that Buffy covered in various ways, over the years.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing was the death of her mother.
Oh, yeah.
And although losing my mom was, she was in an end care cancer hospital, Buffy's mother basically dies of like an embolism or something
Yeah.
because of brain tumor and stuff post surgery. But the the pathos and the depth of emotion and the way that it's handled in that episode is so spot on. It's called The
Yeah.
Body.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
oh, and it
I,
happened that went
yeah.
out at right around the exact time that I was losing and lost my mom. So it
Oh, no.
really,
Yeah.
really resonated with me.
Yeah. Because I remember I was watching it with my ex at the time, and when she did that batter bit where she's like going back and she's thinking about in the ambulance and it's all right, and then it comes back to reality. And my wife said to me at the time, "Oh my God, that's how it could work, isn't it?"
Yeah,
And it
it was
was just,
so well done.
it was like mum, mother, mummy, like,
Me
and I thought, oh no,
Yeah, she goes through all the phases. It was
yeah,
so well done. It really
yeah,
was.
mm,
Yeah, absolute brilliant, brilliant.
yeah. I mean, it was such a brilliant set. I mean, the master was good, and I did like when
Mhm.
Spike and Drusilla turned. I know one of my friends goes, "Oh my God, her accent." Yeah,
Oh, she was wonderful.
oh yeah, I met an old man. He got stuck
Ah.
between my teeth.
But
And
she was meant to be from a much earlier
mm,
time. She was from But again, it was stereotypical. It was a little bit cringe, but I
Yeah.
think the actress was so enchanting
Hmm.
when the way
Just
she played Drusilla.
yeah,
It,
because
I forgave that because I just absolutely loved her.
she was she the niece of Martin Landau? She is related to
Niece
the
or
guy
daughter?
who,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And because it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because Darla, is it Darla turned
yeah.
Angel?
It was his daughter.
Angel,
Yeah. Okay.
Angel turned Drusilla,
Yes.
but
Darla sired Angel. Yeah.
yeah, and did who actually turned Spike?
Spike.
Was Spike, was it Angel or uh, Drusilla? I can't remember which one.
Shit, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's really because you when you
God,
go
that's embarrassing.
William the bloody awful poetry.
But you know what was wonderful though? Where they show when Spike gets turned, I think it's Darla. Oh no.
Yeah,
No. It's not. Is it Drusilla? I think maybe it's Drusilla. Now I'm gonna have to look, of course, because I wouldn't sleep if I didn't know. But the thing that I loved it about where they go back in time is that you get to see who Spike was before he becomes
yeah,
really bloody. And he was and the fact that he was that James Marsters brought that back out in his character later on in the series where Spike is a romantic underneath it all. He is
yeah.
that poet. He does love very deeply despite
Hmm.
losing his soul, and then
He
goes
gets it
through all
back.
different he gets it back,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's just so much to that. So many
Mhm.
layers there. It's just absolutely masterful. Um, I'm gonna have to look up who sired Spike in.
To make you understand.
Um,
Oh God.
it
Yeah.
was Drew. It was Drew. Yeah, but of course he ends up with Drew as well. So I thought it was when I
Yeah.
started thinking about it. I was like, I'm not sure now.
Yeah. That's cool.
One of my favorite scenes with Drusilla is when Spike had to make her understand her how pure Monty Python.
It's dead, Drew.
Ah, God, yes, I remember. I remember that scene. Yeah, but I just loved the way she played it. She was mad. She was absolutely mad as a hatter, but she was the most
Yeah.
captivating,
Yeah.
um, ultra feminine,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
naive
Yeah.
in as
She
much as
was.
she's lost her humanity. So she's just so totally naive to things.
It just, because then you realise just how bad Angel was, because he actually, when
And
he
jealous.
actually
Yeah.
said he actually broke her mind before he turned her, didn't he? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Angelus was a nasty piece of work.
He was, and
Um,
he was again, just such a great storyline there.
mhm. And
So much symbolism for growing up and things like that. It's just again, another series you could just devote an entire stream to. It's just so good.
yeah, but when in Supernatural, when they dealt with werewolves, was that little guy that I can't remember his name now.
Oh, yes,
The little-
yes,
did he
yes.
turn it? Was he a werewolf as
Yes,
well?
he was.
I
He
can't.
became a werewolf. Yeah, he
Yeah,
became a werewolf. Yeah.
what was his name?
Oh, you're killing me.
A little tiny guy.
I know who you mean.
He was a sheriff at one
Oh
time.
my God. I know my brain is so bad. I just want
Yeah.
to bury it. But I can see his face. I know I don't know. I'll have to.
I know.
I'm staying
Terrible.
off opening too many tabs because I'm just a little bit nervous that I might lose the signal because it's a little bit wobbly in here.
Garth.
Yes.
Garth Fitzgerald.
Garth.
It says.
I should have remembered Garth from because my association with Garth is Wayne and Garth.
Yeah.
But yeah, Garth.
Yeah, bless him. Oh, he was a lovely character.
He was, and that was another show that you just went through everything that those boys went through and the characters went through, and you related so much and it was always something that you could relate to your own life, and what they were going through. So, at least on a symbolic level anyway. So it was another great one. Very quickly, I also wanted to mention that back, it was a little bit before, a few years before I would have probably been aware enough to watch it, and it might have gone off possibly by then. But in the late 60s, we had Dark Shadows with
Oh yes, yeah.
which started off as a gothic soap opera, basically.
Yeah.
And then the chap who was behind Kolchak the Night Stalker, who was running it, who was like the producer or something, he brought in the concept of having a vampire come into the story, and the whole thing just took off. It just
Yeah.
took off. Jonathan Frid, who played Barnabas in Dark Shadows, he has become one of my all-time favorite vampires. He's the victimized vampire. He's churned into a vampire, as revenge for jilting the affections of a witch, who decides that she wants him, and tries to separate him from his actual love. And he then searches for his, he's turned into a vampire, but then he comes back hundreds of years later or whatever, I have to remember. But he comes back into the family, and then he finds he's always looking for his love. He's looking for his paramour, and he's like this wonderfully romantic, sad character, but tragic. That's the word I'm looking for. A very tragic character, but played so beautifully by Jonathan Frid. He was so perfect for it.
Yeah. I do you know what kicked me was years ago, I used to buy videos of DVDs from Sainsbury's, and every so often they'd have a big sale of television series. And I went in there and I had about £50 to spend, and they had the whole of that series, everyone they could get in a box set for 30 quid.
Oh my
And
God.
I looked at it and thought, that looks interesting. And I went away and I came back a couple of hours and it was gone. And I remember saying to my friend, I could have got Dark Shadows. Why didn't you get it?
I'm not surprised.
Well, I just, because at the time
It kind of like
usually,
yeah.
I go round the shops and I look at what I could get, and then I go back. And I've learned now, if I really want it, I should get it when I see it, if I've got the money, because there's so
It's
many
a hard
times.
one. I know. My husband, Darren, bought me the full Dark Shadows set in the coffin-shaped box.
Yeah.
And I absolutely treasure it. And I still have to finish going through absolutely every single episode. But I absolutely treasure it. And especially in that amazing coffin-shaped box.
I love those.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'll pop a photo of it on Discord after.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, and Darren said something earlier too, which I neglected to mention, which I love. He suggested earlier that we rewatch Buffy as a tribute, to the cast members that we've lost now, and I think that's a great idea, because enough time has passed since we last watched it, and it's such high quality stuff. But yeah, I'm all over that.
I must admit, I did toy with that, and I thought, I wonder what it's going to be like, and then I'm going to do it. I not just because I just feel that it's been a long time. I don't think I've watched it for 10 years or so, the whole thing, and I think it's worth doing. From the very first series, I love seeing the progression of the actors as they grow older and how they adapt to their roles. Yeah, I think one of the things that I started watching it with my ex, and it was something that we would always wait. It was on Wednesdays on BBC Two, and we would make sure we'd had our lunch, we'd had our tea, we'd get everything washed up, we'd sit down by this old television we had, and we'd watch it religiously, and it went on and on and on until, when did Buffy die? Which was it, the end of season 4? Or was it 5? I can't remember.
I'm not very good with season numbers.
And
I just remember the scenes, but I don't remember the season numbers. Well, she died.
Yeah. And I
when
remember
she jumped off the bridge into the. Yeah.
And I remember my wife saying to me at the time, I think it was series 6 or something, and I said to her, "You're not interested, are you, Dad?" She said, "I'll be honest with you." She said, "I think that they should have ended it at series 5 where she died," because she said that was brilliant. Because she said, I'm beginning to think that, and she wasn't happy with Dawn being brought into it, because she just said that was.
I was a little bit unsure of Dawn myself. I was a little bit unsure of that dynamic being brought in. I think that it needed some refreshing. Because they were going to run out of audience, they were going to run out of ideas, perhaps sticking with the same theme over and over and over again. So I get that. I get that they needed to sort of hit the refresh button a little bit. So I was kind of just lukewarm on it in the beginning, but I did grow to appreciate all the storylines around it. And I think the interactions between Dawn and Spike as well, where Spike kind of looks after her, I thought was really good. And
I have to say that one of my things that with my friends we talk about, and I say one of my things is that when I like something, I want to see more and more and more and more of it. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, really, that's done before. And it's like part of me's criticizing it, but I just have to keep watching it. I think part of me with Supernatural thought that the Dean dies, Sam dies, Dean dies, Sam comes back. That was getting to the point. And then that bit where Chuck becomes God, and then he brings all the baddies back. I'm thinking, I found that where Chuck as God suddenly turned nasty. Well, the way he changed. I found that a little. Yeah. That was why has he suddenly done that? Oh, he has to do that to keep the series running. But but I still watched it and I still enjoyed it. But I found that the ending of that, the Supernatural ending, was really done well. I thought so.
I agree. I would have liked to have seen more of Cass in the finish. I thought it was beautiful what they did with Cass. His send off with Dean was just beautiful, but I did miss seeing him in that final scene where they're, they reunite again, and then you see Bobby, and they do throw a line in. They say, Cass is around here somewhere or something like that. But that was the only thing. But it was so well done, and talk about being in bits. I mean, it was superb. It was absolutely superb. So I can't really, I think we could all find things to nitpick as these series get older, but I think it depends on the series. So a series like Supernatural or Buffy, I'm so in love with the characters in the series, and I have so much respect for the characters that I'm willing to put up with a little bit more than I might with another series, if you know what I mean. So the thing I liked about, like, after Buffy died, and you do feel that internally so much, but when Willow does that, she does that spell to bring Buffy back, and they think that it's not worked because the town's been overrun, of course, because they don't have a Slayer anymore.
Oh, they have Robo Slayer.
And then they have the Buffy bot. That's right. And then she claws her way out of the coffin, and then you see her, and the way they have dressed her, and you see her hair's grown, and obviously as it, as it would continue to do
Yeah.
for a while. So it's so well done, and Sarah Michelle Gellar just played that so well, because she's, and like Spike's classic line, "You came back wrong," is so good.
And I think he's the only one, he realizes how that
Yeah,
she's come out, and
because he's the undead now. So she actually, and that's why she then develops this, at first almost like a sickness, where she's going to Spike and they're together. But it's why suddenly she changes her tune with him, because she feels an affinity with him in a different way now than before. She would have twatted him for coming near her, but now it's like different, and I love that they do that. I love that they found a way of taking things in that direction. And it was well done. Again, it was so well done.
It was.
The two of them were brilliant.
And then from that period, you get Willow really coming into her own. Getting addicted. I think I like the way they did that. That it was her into magic was like an addiction. Magic. And
that's right. She goes to stay with Giles, doesn't she? She goes to England, and she stays with Giles, and he helps her. But then, and that was and before that, where
when
Willow and Tara are a couple, and then those three dudes, the lead one, he ends up killing Tara, and you see Dark Willow come out, and that was so cool. Terrifying and tragic, but very cool. And she just skins him alive. That was such a moment. But then she just goes too dark, and she can't come back.
Yeah, I think, thinking of that, one of the scenes I can't get out of my mind is Giles in his magic shop, when he's like, they walk in and there he is with a sombrero on.
Yeah, the sombrero. Yeah. And another favorite episode of Buffy, if not one of my all-time favorite episodes of television at all in horror, is Hush, which was the silent episode where you have these storybook creatures that sort of come almost like a Grimm's fairy tale type creature.
The
gentleman, and the way they float, and they have almost like a Nosferatu-esque look about them as well. They were amazing, terrifying.
I think that they were really well done, and they were, the fact that you're just stuck there. You can't help. They're coming for you. You can't do anything about it. And the way that they're having that lecture, they're in the lecture hall.
I know the one, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
they're having to write on the chalkboard, and then Buffy's trying to she's trying to demonstrate something, and then they all look at her like, don't do that. That's what I love it. It's just there's so much.
Giles draws a picture of Buffy, but it's not like that.
It's so brilliant.
It was. What did you think about the one where Tara wipes their mind, and Buffy marries Spike?
That was funny and silly. Yeah, that was really
and I've actually got the musical one. I've got the music for that. Did you like that one?
I'm not a huge fan of musical episodes, but as those go, I thought they did a good job with it.
Yeah,
they did a good job with it.
What are you doing?
The one I really liked too was when Giles and Buffy's mom get regressed back to their teens.
Oh, yeah.
And he becomes Ripa, which is who he was before
he
became Giles. And she's like this, she acts with Buffy, like in the early part of the series, she's like this overprotective mom, and she never did anything like that. And how could you do that? And she's always admonishing her. But of course, she turns into a little wild child herself when she's young, and you see her and Ripa, And
Yeah.
that was a great story. I can't remember which one that was, but that was fun.
Yeah, I remember that. I can also
Yeah.
remember Beer Bad. That's a good
That one, yeah. That was
when
good. When she,
Buffy
yeah.
turns into a caveman.
That was a good one as well, yeah.
There were so many brilliant ones. I mean, every week when they came on the television, it was, wow, what's this one going to be?
I know. And it was such a great, it was a luxury to be able to look forward to a TV show that much. And
Yeah,
we didn't, I mean, you could record things then, obviously, you know, everybody had VCRs and
yeah.
whatever, but that was a show that you had to watch on the night, is in my mind, because you would hear too much the next day because people would be talking about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So no matter what happened, even if I got home late for work and I missed when it went out, I would record it and watch it before I went to bed because it would have to be done.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to have to look now.
Okay. That's right. Now I remember that because we did point that out when we were watching it last time. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really, I mean, I still can't get over the fact that the Charisma Carpenter was actually 30 and playing an 18-year-old. That was
Oh, and she did it, and she did it so well. She was
very well.
she's, you know, she was beautiful, very youthful and beautiful. So she easily pulled that off. So yeah, absolutely. And I liked her in Angel as well. I really liked the arc that Cordelia got, where she got to be the character that she deserved to be. You know, she started out as obviously the stereotypical school bully and the, you know, the one that just didn't have a lot of brain cells in the beginning, and she was just very full of herself. But they gave her such a beautiful arc with Angel.
Yeah.
I was really pleased.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all like that, Darren.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I can't remember either. So there we go. I can't remember the details, and I can't remember what I did with my classes.
Short-term memory is terrible for me.
I have no short or long-term memory now. Oh, it's all gone.
You know, I must admit, when with Angel, there are some really good episodes, and I liked what's her name, Burkles, Winifred. I liked her. Do you remember Winifred Burkles? Fred.
Yes, Fred. Yes, she was a wonderful character.
When she died, and it was like Wesley, they said, could they bring her back? And said, no, she's gone. She's totally gone. There's nothing left of her. I went, oh no, there's no soul. There's no. And that character that demon creature who takes her over. When Wesley's at the very end of the episode series, when Wesley's dying, she says to him, would you like me to turn back to Winifred before you go? And I went, oh no.
Oh my God, yeah. But
that was brilliant.
Out. Yeah.
And he says,
yeah, go ahead.
When he says, when Wesley turns up and he said, I'm a rogue demon hunter. And Angel goes, what, you hunt rogue demons? No, I'm a rogue demon hunter. and you learn about Wesley's life when he was growing up, just how...
It was nice for Wesley's character as well, because he was a very unlikable character in Buffy.
Yeah.
Needless to say, he was extremely unlikable and untrustworthy character. So it was nice to see him get a positive... get to sort of have a nice character arc as well. I thought, that was good.
Definitely.
And the one of my favorite characters in Angel was actually an actor who's very sadly passed away during that time. I think I don't know if it was while he was still filming Buffy or Angel, or after, but he played Lorne, and it was kind of like a... he was
yes,
that had like the red horns, and he was sort of like a lounge, he ran like a lounge show, like a nightclub.
Yeah. That was my wife's favorite character. He was brilliant. Up. Yeah, it's sort of like, oh, you're gonna. I got knocked out. Someone smacked me around the coconut.
He was a wonderful character, and very sadly, the
was.
actor passed away suddenly. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it might have been a heart issue or something. I can't
Well,
remember.
my wife said that she saw it in a magazine. She said, "Oh my God!" She said he had something wrong with a tooth, and
Oh, that's right.
apparently the infection spread to his heart, which she couldn't understand. I said, "Well,
That's a
what
whole
if?"
thing. That is actually a whole thing. So, like,
Yeah.
if you in the States, I remember one time I said to my dentist that I had been diagnosed with a heart murmur as a child, and it was just like, okay, red sirens going off. You need to go on a course of antibiotics before I can even touch you. And that's because they had started to realize that this infection was actually able to kill people if the infection from the mouth got down into the heart, it was actually killing people. And I still remember that. The look on the dentist's face was like, oh my God, I can't touch you until you have a course of antibiotics. So that was so sad that he went like that.
What I was told years ago was that someone raised this point in our cell biology, and the lecturer said he doesn't know absolutely, but the bacteria can migrate down the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve goes down the front of your face into the mouth, and it goes directly to the heart, so that it can travel down there. But he said, regardless of that, if you get an infection in your mouth, if that gets into your bloodstream, it can go to any organ, and so But yeah, I mean, it's just that was sad. And
heartbreaking.
Do you remember when Angel they got flipped into that other dimension of demons, and you met Lorne's family? And that was so funny. It was just like, and they did everything by dance. So his elder brother, he goes, "Oh, your brother is now going to do the dance of despair." And Lorne's going, "Oh no." And Andrew goes, "What's up?" He said, "You have no idea how embarrassing that is." Like that. and that in that dimension, that's where they find Winifred, and she's been in there for about 20 years.
Right.
And she's just writing all this stuff on the walls.
Okay, yes, because sort of slowly coming back to me. But what does stand out to me with Angel, and again, I was heartbroken when this character was taken away from us, and that was Glenn. And he was becoming a sort of love interest for Cordelia at the very start of Angel.
Was he the Irish guy?
Yes.
Played Doyle.
I was absolutely distraught when he was taken out of it. I absolutely loved his character. I thought he was excellent, and I was not happy at all.
No, because he was half a demon, wasn't he?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he had like spiky bits out of his head. Yeah, that was quite sad.
It was, and I felt bad for Cordy's character as well, because they were obviously quite close.
Yeah,
if I remember, and I just remember how bad I felt, when they did away with his character. I was like, no, I might never watch again.
Yeah, that I think I didn't know exactly why. There was something going on, wasn't there?
I think possibly.
Because there was. What did you think about the? Andy Hallett played Lorne.
Yeah.
And Gunn. I like Gunn. He was a good character.
Gunn. Which one was he?
The coloured guy who was the gang guy. And he came in. And then when they went to Wolfram Hart, they made him hyper intelligent. And they basically sold his soul. I remember all that.
Yeah, that one. I'm not remembering that as clearly, but I do remember Wolfram Hart. That was a really clever twist.
Yeah.
It got a little old after a while, but it did work for a while.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all the cast that's there. Who's that?
And of course, we had Spike. We had a Spike crossover, and we had a Buffy crossover as well.
Yeah,
Which was cool.
yeah. It was great. I really
Mm.
like that. Yeah, because they kept on going on about bringing things back, but that never happened. Because there was going to be a Watchers series based in England,
Mm. Which could have
and
been quite good.
and it's so because it got so far as Anthony Stewart Head coming back, and Spike was coming back as well to England, from what I gather. And there were some rumours about the BBC involved. The BBC was not really interested, and it's sort of
Stupid.
because they needed the BBC to be involved to help them through all the hoops of doing a series. It could have been brilliant.
It would have been with those
the
two.
home, the home of the Watchers and whatnot.
Yeah.
I would have liked that. And then there was going to be a Spike series, which it went on for quite a while. And then James Masters said, "Look, I would have liked it, but I'm getting a bit old for it now." So never mind.
Which I think I have a lot of respect for.
Yeah.
Him
definitely.
saying that. I do, because I'm sure that his love for that character and his painstaking time and effort and blood and everything that went into creating that character and bringing him to life would not be done a service by taking a role in the guise of that character where the character was not as good as he was in the beginning, So I have great respect for the fact that he would say that. Not that I don't want to see Spike, because I don't care how old he is. I love Spike to bits. I would take Spike in any iteration.
And he's just something like, she says something like, "What are you doing?" It's 5 words, "out for a work."
Yes, I know exactly the scene.
Oh dear, it's just so brilliant. And when he's driving around in his car with a black paint on it, it's just
he was such a great character. He was everything. He was, he was punk. He was,
and his black leather jacket,
embodied rebellion.
I have to be honest. That was why. That was one of the main reasons why I had to get a full-length leather jacket.
He did. He made that cool again. Yeah.
And it's how he got that. He pinched it off of another Slayer, didn't he? It was the mother of.
Oh, it was. That's right. I do remember that storyline.
What did you think of Faith? Did you like the character of Faith, the other Slayer?
I thought Eliza Dushku was brilliant. I thought she definitely did her job well, because I found Faith an extremely dislikable character.
Yeah.
I didn't like her as a character, but I have great respect for the actress playing her, because she was an extremely dark. There was a criminality about her character. She was, she treated Buffy like Buffy was the silver spoon, and she was always, had a chip on her shoulder, and she always felt like, everybody else got everything and she didn't get anything. So her attitude got a little tiresome after a while, but I have absolutely great respect, for the actress. And again, the character played a good role when she was in it. I thought she was a good foil for Sarah Michelle Gellar, because they were so different.
Yeah. I think did. I actually did like. I know that the couple of friends of mine. Oh no, a lot of people saying, "Well, how they managed to squeeze that in." I said, "Yeah, but when Buffy died, she died technically. So as soon as Slayer dies, another one's called. So it's not something you can just stop."
No.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
What did you think of the last series of Buffy? Did you like that?
I watched it very respectfully. I'll never not enjoy a Buffy episode, because I have such respect for all the actors and the characters. But yeah, I was getting a little bit like, it was like she was sort of like had all these girls together, and some of the characters were a little annoying. You know, I wasn't really like finding myself
All the
that
Slayers.
impressed, with the other
Yeah.
girls. You know,
Yeah.
some of them were a bit annoying. So I think that was a little bit. You know, I wasn't like over the moon about that, but again, I watched it, you know, out of
But
respect.
but with a lot of these series, and it's true of Supernatural, is that they seemingly have to up the ante all the time. So the big bad has got to be bigger and badder and bigger and badder
Which
every
makes perfect
season.
sense. Absolutely,
And
because people will get
and
bored.
so how big and bad does it have to get? Because you had the glory, what's it, glory?
Glory, yeah.
And then
Glory,
Giles,
yeah,
Giles does what Giles, you know, he said, no one of them is going to do it because they're nice
yeah,
people, but I
yeah,
can.
yeah.
And then you had the darkness, and I'm thinking, oh, what else can you do? Where can you go now?
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
and it was the same with Supernatural. With you had Eve, the mother of all demons, and bits and pieces. I think,
Lilith,
yeah,
yeah.
Lilith, and you go, well, where do you go next? You know,
Well, even well, we had Death. We had the character of Death, which was so friggin' cool. The actor they got to play him was
it's
so good.
just absolute. Even those little bits that when he's just takes Dean to that pizzeria, and it's just Dean,
Little
don't
do they
do
know they're
that.
actually serving Death pizza. You know, it was so
Yeah,
good. It was so good.
when he's saying, I can build a wall, but if he starts scratching, that's it. Oh, he was so
Yes.
brilliant.
Oh, it
And when
was. It was.
the classic bit where Cass has eaten all the souls from purgatory, and Death
Yeah.
goes, he said, oh, what if you stupid little soldier, you've eaten everything and you didn't know what else is in there, did you?
Oh God, yes, yes. There was
The
so many
islands.
great arcs and things going on
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Oh,
Yeah.
that other film, that Bill Nighy has also been in another vampire film quite recently called The Dracula Untold,
Okay.
where it was part of that series of films that I can't, was it? Oh, that film studio. They did The Mummy, and they did the walk. It was meant to be
Oh,
revitalizing the MGM,
2024.
and he played the lead vampire.
Oh, with Luke. Yes.
Yeah, and I
Um,
didn't. Yeah,
Luke Evans. Yeah.
yeah, and I actually quite like that, and I thought again, Bill Nighy played a really good part in that. Was it Bill Nighy?
Was he in that? No, it was
Or was
Charles
it?
Dance, I think.
Yeah,
you're thinking of.
Charles Dance. I suddenly thought, yeah,
Yeah,
it's Charles Dance, not
which is
Bill
of course
Nighy.
he was in Game of Thrones. So,
Yeah,
but Charles
yeah,
Dance was in that. Yeah. Yeah.
very well done. Yeah, Charles
Cool.
Dance can. I don't think I've seen anything that he's done that isn't brilliant, and
Well,
he's
yeah,
got
I mean,
such
he was, absolute
such a
legend.
absolutely. Was he in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, or I think it was someone else?
I don't know. I know of the film, but I don't know.
Yeah, Dracula Untold was quite good. I actually, there was a lot of, oh, don't like that. And I remember years ago, my mum and dad bought me a load of DVDs, and I got this like a French version of Dracula that was dubbed, which was very French. There's lots of the way the French do it, with a lot of swirling his cape around and looking pinched. That was not too bad. I like seeing that. Films I've yet.
That's the new one that I was trying to think of earlier. It's called Dracula. It was made in 2025. And it has a wonderful cast. I'm just trying to bring it up now. I thought that was extremely well done. I wasn't so sure about it at a few points, but the whole thing together was just superb. I can recommend that. an actor by the name of Caleb Landry Jones plays
Oh,
Dracula, and then you have two actresses in it that are absolutely mind-blowingly good. You have one playing his Mina, and then you have
all
another
right.
character that they brought in called Maria, who is who's been sired by Dracula to be one of his sort of minions to look for
Hmm.
Mina through time because they get separated and she gets killed and you know he looks for her through time
Yeah.
and
Oh,
finally finds her again.
I hadn't seen that. I will have to
It's
look for that then.
superb. Yeah, it's I thought it was quite well done. I was a little bit wary going into it, but I have to admit I thought they
Mhm,
actually did quite a nice job on it. And the cinematography in it is superb as well.
mhm. I must say, I've
Very
got to collect.
big and beautiful.
I've got a few vampire things I buy in the charity shops, and I've got Renfield. I haven't seen that yet. That's got
No,
that's Nicholas
Nicolas
Cage is that,
Cage.
and I've got Abraham
Lincoln,
Lincoln
yeah,
vampire. I
I want
like
to see
that.
that.
Yeah, that's almost like one of those things. Pride and Prejudice and
Zombies, yeah,
zombie.
that was
Yeah,
so good. That was
I
so
haven't
good.
seen that yet, so I'll have
Oh
to
my
try that
God, you
one.
have to watch that. That's so good. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. I hadn't watched it. I'd been hearing about it for absolute
Mhm,
years. And a couple people had said to me, you need to watch that. It's so good. And I finally did, and I absolutely love it.
mhm.
Superb stuff. Um,
Did did the X Files actually tackle werewolves? They did, didn't? Was it the one where they were on the Indians route, North American Indians were involved in
Rougarou,
it?
because Supernatural did the Rougarou as well.
Hmm.
Um, I think I
Hmm.
my husband might know.
Uh,
I don't know if they
we
did.
just rewatched the X-Files.
I know, and we just rewatched the entire series. Did X Files? Um,
Yes,
Shapes
episode called Shapes.
again has to do with Native American.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, so more
Oh
like
right, the
shapeshifter.
legend, the legend in the Manitou. A spirit.
Yes, very
Yeah.
much like a
Oh
shapeshifter type
crikey.
thing. Yeah, yeah. I'd have been surprised if they hadn't done something because
Yeah.
there is a great deal of fodder in um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Native American history and myth and things like that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, there's so many great films out there with like vampires and series, in fact, because I remember years ago on Channel 4, they had this series called Ultraviolet, which was
I
vampires.
remember that.
Yeah, and but the way that they dealt with them was to basically hit them with ultraviolet. And it was like a covert group of part of the police that was hunting them down, and they were
Oh.
stealing blood from blood banks and things. But
Well,
that was
they used that concept of like the light bullet, the ultraviolet light bullet
in
uh,
Underworld.
in Underworld. Yeah.
Yeah, and in Blade they do it because do you remember that big vampire,
Yes.
that big pearl, and they use that ultraviolet thing on her
Yep.
to
Yep.
because I think the villain in Blade, the original film, Deacon Blake, he was so good, and I
He
really
was.
and he used that stuff on his face to actually, I think it was
Mm.
face cream to actually so he could go outside. Although the elders could not go out in the sun at all, they would burst
Yeah.
into flame. Which
Mhm.
I love that.
I like the evolution. They made it a form of evolution, or
Mm,
you know, changing of the DNA. To be able to go out into the sun with
yeah,
certain elements. But
yeah, yeah. It's great,
yeah,
great.
I was
There was
just saying that. Yeah, they didn't do Bigfoot on the X Files, which again they could have done from a Native American angle as well. You know,
yeah.
Sasquatch.
They did do that. They did actually do a vampire episode, didn't they?
Probably.
Yeah, I remember that one because at the end of it, you never knew whether he was or wasn't a vampire because Scully was going on, oh, it's just a mental disorder. And I'm thinking, how would that explain the fact that, you know, if you're so convinced you're a vampire, I don't think that leads to you actually burning up in sunlight. I mean, that would be amazing if you could do that. But yeah, I don't think that's. But yes, and I've been interested in vampires quite a while. That you have, and you look back all the legends of them. I remember years ago at school, I would go through the library, and when we had library books, and I always found all these books, and that's where I found the Croglin Hall vampire, which a lot of it's that has been a lot highly debuffed by now. People have looked into it and say, well, that probably didn't happen, but it was still a thing in this 18th century where a woman wakes up with something at her window, virtually using its nails to actually take the leaded lights out. And when her husband and this man rushed into the room, there was something spread eagled across the window frame. And they said it was like it looked human, but it was so skinny and emaciated. It just looked horrible. So but just, and you have all these things about bodies being found with bits of metal in their mouths and going right across.
It's fascinating.
And the same with the werewolf, where you've got diseases that probably make people go that way. Rabies is another one where people think, and even right back to the Viking period, where those warriors groups, the berserkers, who used to take on animal spirits. So they used to wear either a bear or a boar or a wolf. So they would wear the wolf's head and become almost animalistic.
So it's about transformation, and that, and again, I think that's the big thing with the werewolf trope is it's about, you know, transforming, and also it kind of represents the monster that lives inside of us, you know. So it's painful. It's not something that's sort of romantic, you know, in some elements of vampire lore where they, you know, you turn by being bitten. This is quite, you know, brutal.
Yeah, and unlike a vampire that you die, most cases you die and reborn, and that's it. With a werewolf, you're going through that every time you change.
It's horrible, and the pain, because you know you see the characters screaming in pain as they're, or you know, or reacting as they're transforming, and you can see what's happening to them. So it's a much more brutal, unpleasant type of a thing to end up as, I think. But yet in the Howling, they become like a cult of werewolves, basically.
Yeah, it's a whole area, isn't it?
They're a tribe, so they look after each other, and they seem quite content. You know, many of them seem quite content to just live as they are and transform and feed when they need to. So that was an interesting exploration of that. It made them more cult-like, you know, bonded through trauma, as opposed to
with Patrick
vampires
McGee,
are very solitary. Usually.
That's what I like that, and I thought that episode in Supernatural was very similar, where the vampires there were all one group looking after each other and going under the radar. And so I thought interesting. That's there are some good points for being a vampire. I can't think of too many of being a werewolf apart from the ability to let rip your inner angst, as it were.
I know, and scare the shit out of a few.
Just like, what are you doing? I'm so angry. I've just had I'm just going to go outside and run around the street howling at the
moon. There is a sort of, dark side of me that wouldn't mind doing that, just to scare the shit out of a few people. But yeah, it's I love I love werewolves because they represent that loss of control, chaos, the inability to or the release of something from within, that inner rage. Whereas vampires are, they have more of a innate, most of the time they're more like solitary, and
which
they suffer in a different way from a hunger, but they surround themselves with extraordinary beauty and a lot of the Gothic style, so I'm good. I'd be good with vampirism. That'd be my choice.
I don't think I'd like to live in a box of soil, but never mind. See how that'd go. A box of soil, but you've got to go into, or some of them do.
Well, you'd have to have a really professional familiar like Guillermo looking after you.
Oh, crikey, yeah. You definitely would, wouldn't you? I think one of the what did we all know the vampire film with what's his name? Keanu Reeves, and I can't remember. Oh no, the guy who played the Dracula in the one with Keanu Reeves as, and he played. I'm. What's his name?
What?
Let's have a look. Have a look.
News.com. I don't know. Oh, Bram Stoker's. Oh, yeah. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah. I forgot he was in that.
Gary Oldman.
I totally forgot he was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was Gary
Oldman. Great.
Winona Ryder as Mina, and Van Helsing was Anthony Hopkins, and he was a very, very earthy Van Helsing. I actually quite like that. Anthony what's he gonna call it? Gary Oldman did that very well, and there were some great
Gary Oldman
bits
was
in there.
Amazing in that movie.
Can I just take a quick break? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, if you want to wrap it up at some point, I'm happy with that as well. It's up to you.
Yeah, is that okay?
Absolutely.
So I don't know what we're going to do next time. Could we? If you've got a subject we could talk about?
Yeah, I'm sure I can dig something.
If you think of anything, ghost, spirits, paranormal, we could do. That would be very good.
Absolutely.
It's been a great talk. We've talked about vampires and werewolves. One of our favorite subjects. You're welcome, Wen. And what will you be doing? What sort of things will you be doing in the next week or so?
Not a whole lot. We're sort of having a bit of a chill couple of weeks. We have, we've been dashing about doing a few different things. We do have a sci-fi convention that we're going to be doing in the not too distant future. Darren's going to be there with his books.
Oh, great. Good luck with that.
So we're really looking forward to that. But yeah, other than that, just chilling basically, and just enjoying this area and trying to go for walks and sort of just.
Oh, yeah, you love the pictures.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I love taking pictures,
welcome.
and I do need to get. We do have proper cameras around, but with the last move, we just have so many things in boxes still. Even a year later, it's just crazy. Oh, it's up because we haven't got a lot of room where we are now, so a lot of our stuff has just had to stay in boxes, which is unfortunate. But there you go. So the phones today, though, take amazing photos. I can't.
Oh, they do. They
cannot
really
believe
do.
Yeah.
And you-
Lo, he's going for the 4 Yorkshiremen. Yeah.
right. Okay. Well, I'll be just
Yep.
reading and watching videos and doing printing and just
Yeah.
carry on gardening. So thank you
Yes.
so much for being a co-host, Wendy. And
Oh,
thanks,
thank you for
Darren, for
having me.
being in the chat. Hope you have a good
Thank
week.
you.
Best wishes for the rest of the week.
Yes,
Best
and
wishes.
you.
Bye. Cheers.
Take care.
See you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.